get up straight away and just pick up a little bit of dig that a little kid's just dropped on the floor and no one else has noticed. He sees those things that we don't see. That's Prem. Sakya, being friendly with the beloved and having undying faith. You know, some people, sometimes I remember like some singer saying to me, he says when he goes to Maharaj, he says, Bhai Kuljit Singh, Maharaj, theek thaak ji, bahut khushi hui. There's some Gursikhs like that. They've got that prem. There's some people who are very simple-minded people, really like, jidan pole keh lo, the pyar is so nirmal, so pure from within. Maharaj ji, you know, kivein hai Maharaj ji? Aave darshan ho gaye. Kirpa kiti Maharaj ji, ette hi rakhiyo, kirpa rakhiyo bas. Full kirpa. Huh? Ki hoya? Acha? They're like that. Honestly, I'm not joking. There are people who go that, Nawai pole, pae, mile, lagoraya. That pola, pyar, that love, that really honest love is so honest, and it's happening in the heart so many times. Like there was that saying, he came to Maharaj, Guru Gobind Singh Maharaj, haan bhai, santhya hoi teri, Maharaj ji, santhya, ke karo. And they started Anand Sahib. And he started Anand Sahib, he goes, Anand paya, meri mai, Sat Guru, main paya. And that's it. He wouldn't go any further than that. Maharaj goes, the same as Maharaj, what's the score with him? He goes, Anand paya meri maya. You know, main pyar naam hai meri maa, found Vaheguru, bliss in it. Satguru main paya, main palaya Satguru. I found Satguru ji. If I found Satguru ji, then what else do I need? I don't need to go past that line anymore. That's it. That's all he used to do. Maharaj said, nahi, phir bhi hor, but nahi, Maharaj, Satguru main paya bas, meri teri. You know how to say that? It's me and you. There have been people, and that's like the house, that's our history. There's people who've been that so pole, that pyar, Maharaj. And you go to India, you come across some people like that. Just pure, really, and even here, there's people like that here that really nirmal Atmama. Mahapurush Sant Magar Singh ji. What a personality. Amazing Jeevan. I want to just, because I talk about undying faith. Sant Magar Singh ji joined the army in the 1920s and came over to Germany to fight against the Germans. They were so focused in Sikhi, and even the soldiers at that time used to be so focused and steadfast in the Sikhi that even on the front lines, there's actually statements by German soldiers, like at the place like, you know, the Somme and all those kind of places where they fought against the British, and the Ypres, and there's another, I can't remember the other battlefield site, Passchendaele. You know when the Singhs used to be in the front lines and in the embankments on the fronts, they used to kirtan in the evening, and the Germans couldn't understand where the singing used to come from. That's how brave the singing. Even at the front line, they would never worry about dying. Sant Magar Singh ji and his platoon, they were in France. They were put in France. France was overrun when the Germans walked into the Rhineland area. And they took over the Paris and stuff. They took over whole cities, and people just deserted. They took some of the people out, put them into detention centres, you know, Auschwitz and all those other places, workhouses, what they called. And some people still stayed there to resist them. The Singhs were there as well in their homes. And there's one ghatana that I want to explain to you. Sant Magar Singh ji had a very strict very strict lifestyle, undying faith. And he said, he used to never let anyone cook for him. He used to only eat either himself or from Gursikh. Only a Gursikh could cook food for him. That's how strict he was in his discipline. So he wasn't going to accept any food from anyone else. And the food had to be right as well. Not like just borrowed off someone else or stolen from someone. Anyway, their food rations ran out. His platoon leader, his name was Mr. Hill. He came to him and he said, Magar Singh, he goes, you need to start eating. They go that, we can't make food now, there's a battle going on. We're fighting against the Germans in this battered area. we'd rather die than eat and lose the battle. We want to win this battle. We'd rather die fighting. They go, yeah, but we've got other food. We've got these biscuits. We've got like, like the British rations that they had, pies and cakes, whatever, I don't know. And they said, they go, no, we're not going to eat that. They stayed hungry for 8 days, those things. And 8 days, they gave such a rousing reply to the Germans, and it pushed the Germans back by about a mile or two in those 8 days. Mr. Hill realized that these are real Bahadurs. Then what happened was, as they were going, one of the things at the platoon came across like a farmhouse, and when he went into the farmhouse, it had been deserted, he found apples, and he bought the apples. He bought the apples. Jab leke aaya na, Sant Magar Singh said, he goes, where are these from? And he said, this is from that house that's deserted. Sant Magar Singh, he slapped him across the face. He goes, how dare you steal these people's food? You don't know, they might come back tomorrow, and it's not ours, it don't belong to us. We're here for another reason. We're here to stop this oppression from happening, and you're going stealing and creating gun for yourself. He goes, go and put them back. And he returned the food, and Mr. Hill was watching you, and he was thinking, what's going on here? Then Sant Magar Singh, he stood there at a moment, he felt so much barag that he'd slapped this Gursik, then he felt the things are starving as well, so he stood there, he did Benti to Maharaj, Ardas Benti ki in the middle of the battlefield. Tan Tan Satguru Sri Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj, Kirpa Karo. Singha nu bhukh lagi, jang lagya hoya, Maharaj Kirpa Karo. Kise de wasile naal aap ji ration pani liya do, Kirpa Karo. ना असी कोई चोरी दा खाइए, ना किसी दा होर दा बनाइए खाइए, असी अपना खाइए, गुरसिखां दा बनाया होया, कृपा करो महाराज जी. Ardas Binti कर ली. He finished the Ardas. Within 20 minutes, a Singh came running with a rifle. Mahapur, he goes, you won't believe this, I've just seen a Singh about 2 miles down the road with a whole cart full of food. Yeah? Middle of nowhere. And he kehda hai ki Singhan nu chahiਦਾ hoga, le lo aake. They don't know where he came from, what he was doing there. They went, they got the food, the Singh was darshan dite. He was just very normal, like military type clothes. And he thought, who are you with? They didn't even ask him questions, they was too starving for that. They got the food, took it back. And when they took the food, they realized, is he down Singh nu pachani? When they looked back, there's no one there. Kuch nahi siga. They bought the food and they explained what happened to Sant Magar Singh. Sant Magar Singh just laughed. And he said, "Eh, tak kuch nahi. Kehda haje tak 2 ship aa rahe hai." And then the next day, 2 shiploads came near that area and dropped off a whole load of rations for them from the army, which they could prepare their own food with and make themselves. Mr. Hill realized that he Singh kidan dene kinna bharosa rakhde ne ka provide. They had that faith that they didn't give up their own faith at the most extreme time. Asi kar rahe hain. What are we doing? Dasya is the 9th. Guru Amar Das Ji Maharaj is a perfect example of being humble in service of the beloved. For example, when they used to carry this gaggle of water every day for 2 or 3 miles from going outside to Kudur side, carrying the water, and then, not even turning their back on Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj, the second Guru. They walked backwards. Once walking backwards, they fell. They tripped over a peg. And the person whose house it was, the woman in there said, "Ye Kamalaya Amru hoga." They thought that is that in the middle of the night, it's that Amru Kamala who's doing seva for Maharaj. And he didn't say anything. Just humbly said, "Maharaj di seva." He carried on. She became Kamali herself just by saying those words. She went crazy herself just by saying that about Guru Amar Das Ji Maharaj. How much prem must Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj have for Guru Amar Das Ji Maharaj to allow that to happen? Bahut prem kita. There's one time where Guru Amar Das Ji Maharaj was walking in front of Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj, and his arm went in front like that. And Guru Amar Das Ji realised कि मेरी बाँ आगे आ गई गुरु अंगद देव जी महाराज दे. He never used that बाँ ever again in his life. He just held his बाँ like that and used only one hand. Inni seva. That's the extent of pyar and prem that Guru Amar Das Ji, this बाँ committed, my arm committed an action which was disrespectful of Guru by going in front of Guruji. Sada काम है पीछे रहना गुरु दे. Inna prem. Atam Nivedan, offering yourself to the beloved, your body, your whole body. Perfect examples. Father and son, you've probably seen this picture before. Bhai Sahbaz Singh Ji, Bhai Subeg Singh Ji. They were very knowledgeable courtiers of the Mughals. Very, very knowledgeable. They say that the father was really highly knowledgeable about accounting and finance type things and stuff. Really focused. What happened in the Mughals though, inanu Musliman bana liye. Inanu Musliman bana ke, they're such knowledgeable people, they work here as Sikhs, and they've never done anything bad for us. But if they got so much good qualities, why don't they become Musliman? They'd be brilliant for us, for our time. So they said to the father, Musliman bana, he goes, no way. Asi Guru Gobind Singh Maharaj de Sikh hai. We're not going to give up our Sikhi for the sake of worldly knowledge. Oh, we'll give you houses, we'll give you money, you can marry our daughters, your son will marry our daughters and become a Governor or Nawab. No way. They imprisoned both of them, father and son. When they imprisoned both of them, some of the Mughals went up to the son and they said to him, Tu Musliman ban ja, koi na, kuch nahi hunda. And he started to waver. Because when you're in the wrong company of people, kudarti, if you've got 5 people saying that Aaj nahi Gurdwara jana, you're not going to go. Only if your resolve is really good, you'll say, no, main jana hai, Maharaj darshan karne. But if you've got 5 Gurmukhs sitting there saying, tu badiya ban ja, tu seva karya kar, then you'll do seva. Because your sangat is brilliant. He started wavering. He started thinking about the Islamic faith and all that. Ajkal ki kuch ho raha. Look at the amazingness of his father. When they came to Subeg Singh Ji, Bhai Subeg Singh Ji, when they came to him and said to him, your son's wavering, Thada putra hai na, ye thode karma karke kachiai hai. He started thinking that he wants to be Mughal. They go, you might as well turn, so your son's thinking that. He goes, kade nahi ho sakda. Or maybe they just tested his resolve, I don't know. He was on with Tiliao. They bought his son. What his father did next was a sign of the amount of spiritual capacity his father had. He sat him down, he goes, what are you thinking? He said, told him what he was thinking. He got his pair, that angutha, his foot, and put it on his matha, his son's forehead, and he erased his writ. He goes, likhya si te banna hai da Musliman par hun nahi banunga tu. His father's charan wiped away his karma. That's how much spirituality this Singh had. He goes, hun ta tu chadkhiyan te chadunga, tera sharir boti boti bhi hoga, tere sharir vich khoon diguga aita jive fware nikalde ne. But tu Sikhi to dolunga nahi, you won't waver from a Sikhi. Just erase his karma, because our writ is written here. When we matha take in front of Maharaj, we ask for it to be erased. Atam Nivedan. Both father and son were put upon the spike wheels and they gave their lives like that, doing Jakare, Sat Sri Akal, Sat Sri Akal. No effect, because their focus was with their Guru then. Can we be devoted? Listen to MP3 Kirtan maybe, to start off. Maybe listen to that, you can get English katha, you can get English translations of Hukamnama, you can get loads of stuff on the internet. Spend some time discussing or finding out the meaning of a shabd or singing a shabd. Kudrati ga leda, when you look at that, when you've got a Gursikh who may be learning to come and tell you as well, that's even better. Somebody who's learnt it themselves, even better. Or singing a shabd. How many of us probably know that sab Utata Sukhiya, Baitata Sukhiya? Yeah, oh Santa Jana Mil Hadis Gayo, oh that's Sandeg Jivago Tera. You know all those traditional shabds that kids learn at a young age. We probably all Tati Vauna Lagay Bar Bramsaranai. But we get taught those shabds. Oh Eko Ankar Satana. Kudati Galia. Bhai Roop Singh Ji from Leeds said this once or twice. I remember it always. He said, जब असी मूल मंत्र करते हैं ना असी इधर करते हैं एक ओंकार सतनाम करता पुरख निरभव इधर एक श्वास नाल करते हैं ना we take loads of breath inside but a बच्चे विच किन्नी प्रीति है अकाल पुरख वाहिगुरू वास्ते बच्चा की करता एक ओंकार सतनाम करता पुरख निरभव निर्वैर काल मूर्त अजूनी सहभ गुर प्रसाद जप आद सच जुगाद सच है पी सच नानक होसी पी सच in one swas. The really especially if you say chocolate learning, toffee learning, baju question, then they get excited even more. But look at the value of the swas they put on it and look at the value of the breath that we put on it. ਅਸੀਂ ਸਵਾਸ ਦਾ ਕੀ ਮੁੱਲ ਲੈਂਦੇ ਤੇ ਉਹ ਕੀ ਮੁੱਲ ਲੈਂਦਾ ਸਵਾਸ ਦਾ ਇੱਕ ਸਵਾਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਮਝਦਾ ਕਿ ਮੇਰਾ ਆਖਰੀ ਸਵਾਸ ਮੈਂ ਕਹਿ ਦਵਾਂ ਸਾਰਾ ਕੁਝ ਜੋ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਕਹਿ ਸਕਦਾ you see what I mean that kind of innocence Simran think introspectively on your own repeat the name of God reserve timetable it in from now on if you got a timetable for university timetable for yourself some introspection time. You might think, oh, this is like hippie stuff, man, sitting down and doing that. No, it's not. It's something that true men and women did in the past, which is slowly disappearing. Sit in the presence of Sangat and maybe serve as well. You sit in a Gurdwara, I had the fortunate ability to spend a lot of time in the Guru Ghar in Leicester. I'd be there from the morning to the afternoon, and the amount of things that you really realise the value of Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj when you spend one whole day in a Guru Ghar. You should try it one day. Dekho kere bande aande ne ardas binti karne waste. What types of ardas binti they do? Then who brings things to the Guru? What do they bring? What types of seva people do for Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj? People of different faiths. People in the past I've seen Somali people, Spanish people, students, Bazurg, Gore, Kale, everyone come to Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj and ask for something from Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj. Once I had this guy, in the Gurdwara we were doing, like the Katha Kirtan was happening, and I looked back for some reason, I saw this guy just walk in and sit down on the floor, look Mediterranean type look. And the Katha on that day was about this guy, this Pandit who came to Guru Amar Das Ji Maharaj and asked him, Maharaj the essence of realization. And Guru Amar Das Ji Maharaj said, Vaheguru Jap, Satanam Keh Vaheguru Jap. That's it. So he heard all that Katha and everything, and then right at the end when Sukhasan was happening, Maharaj had been taken away to Sachkhand again, as I was coming around, he grabbed my arm. That same guy. He was a young guy, he was about 19, 18, he was from Spain. He couldn't speak English properly, he was like, yes, you Sikh? I said, yeah. He goes, you tell me something, you have to tell me something, that's what he's saying to me. I said, I don't know anything, what do you want to know? He said, come with me. And he went, and he took me upstairs, and if you've been to Leicester Gurdwara, they've got a gallery upstairs. And inside the gallery they've got a museum, and in the museum they had 50, all the sloks of Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj's Bani. The last few sloks, all of it written framed in different, so each slok is framed on the wall basically. And he grabbed me, he's grabbing my hand, pulling my arm, and he's taking me upstairs. I thought, how does he know where he was? For all I know who it was, I thought maybe this is just permission and it just, whatever he said, just do it. So I went after him. And he went, and he's taking me upstairs, and he went to the room, and he goes, this, what's this? And it was, what was it? Okay, it was about the Jamduts coming to pick you and pulling you by a hair and taking you when you leave. And he goes, explain this, what is it? So I explained it to him. I go, look, our soul, if we don't have Sharda Roop Kes, if we don't have devotion in our lives, then when the Jamdus come, they'll grab us and they'll take us and they'll batter us. If we don't have Simran and if we don't have Naam in us, the messengers of death will come and get us. Took me further and what's this mean? And he asked about 5 or 6 different ones. And then right at the end he goes, what's the name then? Whose name? Then in my mind I thought, I was lucky that I'd been there that evening because I would have been well confused. I think I can't do this, you have to take Amrit first, go punch or whatever. I thought maybe it's that Pandit. I said to him, I go, look, Satnam Vaheguru. Satnam Vaheguru. And he went, Satnam Vaheguru. And I said, yeah. And I said, Vaheguru. And he said, Vaheguru. And he kept repeating it. And he didn't say thank you, nothing, he just walked off. I walked downstairs and I think, what's going on here, man? What's happening? I walked behind him and he just walked off. And he went like, before he left, he said, Vaheguru. He went like that and he just walked off. I never saw him again after that. But what I'm thinking is, either don't take it as an ustati of Musafa, I don't want to talk about that. I'm explaining to you because some of you might be thinking, is it just us that Maharaj? No, Maharaj, this Updesh of Guru Granth Sahib is for everyone, the whole universe. And that was an example of somebody who's not even thinking. Before he went, I did ask him one question. I said to him, how did you come into the Gurdwara? And he said, I caught a bus. I don't know, I was just looking around. And he said, I heard music in the Gurdwara. Heard music. And he thought, it hit me. Something hit me here. He goes, I felt something here. Music hit me here. And he came when Kirtan was going on, because you can hear the Kirtan outside the Gurdwara in East Park Road. It was quite loud at that time. He goes, I came in because of that. Sit in the presence of Sangat that made you serve. Archan, light incense and offer flowers to Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj. Some people will have like alcohol-free perfume, like there's all these secret hiding places in Gurdwara sometimes. And Sevadars will have little places where they put little alcohol-free perfume for Maharaj, and when no one's looking, they just put it on Maharaj or even on the jar side. And you catch him out and say, I'm not your seva is. Prem hunda hai. Some Gursikhs, I remember I used to there used to be one saying in it, like when we used to wash our feet in the sink thing in the Gurdwara before going into go upstairs. He would never go with us upstairs, and then we thought we're going to watch him what he does today. So we went upstairs and we looked, hid out the way, and we looked, and he was like looking to see him looking. And then after we washed our feet there, he'd wash all the thing down and put it all on his face and his dada. And I felt so bad. I felt that's what he does every day. We didn't know that. So I never went with him Gurdwara again. And he many I said, I don't want to do it. I'll do some seva of him in some way, shape, but I'm never going to go with you again, mate. You go first. We caught him out. But it's an example of how people have got that much feeling and pyar and prema in their hearts. Bowing down in front of Maharaj. Dandot is when you bow. There's different types of bowing down. Dandot is when you bow down like a stick. Like danda means stick, yeah? You put your hands like that, head on the floor, your body lies down on the floor. In India they do it a lot, and sometimes in Gurugars in the UK you see the odd person coming and doing that. Dandot, it's not a bad thing, it's a brilliant thing. Kar Dandot Ponavadahi. It's a great good deed to do that in front of Maharaj. It's full submission, Maharaj. It's a big thing to do that, because when we matha take arm thought, it's just like, is anyone watching? In my shirt alright, in the back, my trousers on. Stuff like that. Or, sometimes people walk in and make sure the collars are right, looking good, and, Some people are really bad and have that kind of, Western thing going on where the bent is right to your knees, and so you think, what the hell are they doing, man? Not right, man. Dandot. Ashtang is when you put ang on the floor. So 2 palms, the hands flat down, your knees, your feet, and your elbows. 8. The normal mathatik that we do. But your forehead is supposed to touch the floor because we missed such a big opportunity. We missed the opportunity to get our written again in front of Guru Granth Sahib Maharaj. Once Sanjay Nelson was at Darbar Sahib just before the attack happened, and they're saying the boat, this guy from a village He goes, Santi is saying na mathe parlanda, he can read the mathe, he can read the foreheads of Gursikhs and of people and stuff and tell you what you're going to do and stuff. And Sanji sat there, he goes, just premised him. He goes, Sanji goes, right, he goes, oh, saying that dekho matha karo ki, what's written for him? And the guy is looking at his forehead and he's thinking, funny like that. He goes, oh, saying that. Pointing at the other thing, looking at his matha there, he goes, rubbing his eyes and everything, you know, like, getting his rumal out and cleaning his eye and stuff. He did about 3 or 4 times, he couldn't read any of them. Sanji goes, chalo utho. Sanji got up and walked. You know when Baba Deep Singh Ji, you know when you go to Darbar Sahib, Baba Deep Singh Ji's Asthan is, the photo is Baba Deep Singh Ji. I went in that room, you can go through upstairs, the back where they do the counterpart side. Sanji utte le gaye. Sanji did Matha take. Guard from the Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj, stood there for 2 minutes. Came, he goes, Matha take yo. He goes, then when you get up, look at the floor. When he went, that guy who could read people's foreheads, when he Matha take, what did he see? He saw thousands, hundreds and thousands of writs, people's lives on the floor in front of Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj. What he could read on the foreheads of people, he saw all that on the floor in front of Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj. And he got up, his proper shape, cleaned his eyes, he goes, wow, what's that? Then he came to Sanji, fell in Mahapur's feet, Mahapur, nahi, Guru Ramdas Ji Maharaj, and I had his tea with him, stop it. He goes, tu samajhda hai ki inna de mathiyan de lekh ne, ye lekh nahi hage, lekh Satguru Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj charnan ch digde ne. They get erased there. That's why you can't see anything on these things. They're free, these guys are all liberated. And those things are the ones who did Shaheedi in the end. They're the ones who spent every single droplet of their blood for truth and justice and fought alongside Sanji at that time. False bowing, but if we just bow and there's no love in our heart, that's wrong as well. When we bow in front of Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj, the reason we bow over and over and over again is because we get it in our mind that it's devotion that we're doing this for. Bar bar, and there's no end to it. Even a person who gets the most brilliant qualities, the Mahapurush, everyone, they bow over and over and over again. Even if they're clean, Maharaj, main kuch nahi haga, main papi haan, main paap kite ne bahut, aap ji samne rakh rahe, tusi kirpa karo sanu, samat baksho. Assi aap ji de samne matha rakh de, nak rakh de aake, tusi sade lekh, mare lekh mita deo. Being friendly with the beloved. Do we have that friendly exchange with Maharaj? Have we got that? Some people do it out of life. If you do it cleverly, then that's not right, innit? But when you'll know the difference when it comes from within. When it comes from your heart and it just comes automatically without you even thinking of it. Maharaj ji, kivein, theek thaak ji, bahut der ho gayi, dar se mile nahi, Maharaj kirpa kiti aapne, dar se mile bakshe. We never talk like that to Maharaj. Just speaking sweet words to Maharaj, you should practice it. It's an art. Go in there, Maharaj ji, kirpa karo. Stand in front of Maharaj. Don't be afraid of who's saying it. Stand in front of Maharaj. No one's there, just talk to Maharaj ji and see what happens. Dasya, being humble in service of the beloved, humility. Actually having that humility inside of ourselves, thinking all the time, you know, what is there, after this talk's finished, what seva will there be for me? Some people are like that. Some people would always map it out, think, what can I do? What can I do today? What can I do to help Sikh society even more? Collectively, as a Sikh society, you can have these 9 forms of bhakti together. Collectively, you can work on these things, each one of those things, and set a whole program for the year, rather than just have talks. Okay, we're going to have a session where we just think of listen to Kirtan, then we're going to discuss the Shabad that we. Why doesn't it happen? Why can't it happen? It can happen. Atam Nivedan, offering yourself to the beloved. What can you offer? What skills can you offer in your degree? What are you learning at the moment that you can put forward for Sikhi, and make sure we do that? 10% of our time in work should be devoted to Sikhi, somehow or another. Use our skills for the Sikhi benefit. We're lucky we've got this vidya, this knowledge. A lot of people out there who probably won't get a chance to go to university now because it's getting more and more expensive. But we're lucky that we're getting that. And then above all that, you have Prema Bhagti. And the reason why Prema Bhagti is above all that, because there's a certain title for people who get to Prema Bhakti level. Prema Bhakti can only arise when you have worked on an aspect